And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. We're very fortunate in the state of Alabama to have many people that have been in the military who decide to make Alabama their home, retire, stay here, and start another career. My guest today is just one of those persons that we're fortunate to have. Retired Colonel Brian Hastings.
Thanks, Jack.
You were at the Air Force Academy?
Yes, ma'am. Or yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Either way. And of course, obviously, you were at Maxwell at the Command and Staff College. You were the commandant.
Yes, sir.
You retired in 2017. You retire in August, at the beginning of September. And in August, Governor Ivey says, you know, we need somebody to be Emergency Management Agency Director. She taps you. Nice job. Except for the fact the week after you get in the job, Irma hits.
Yeah, and it was one of the largest storms that Florida has had, and I'll tell you what, we took in about 300,000 of their citizens who were evacuating, so it was a very interesting relationship and partnership between Florida, surrounding states, and Alabama.
And you did that on top of having to worry about the Alabamians.
Absolutely.
You know, it's enough to say, okay, your main focus is making sure the people of Alabama are going to be safe. And they say, oh, by the way, Brian, we're sending up about 300,000 people you need to do something with.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the transition was interesting. It's always nice being a public servant and giving back to the community. So it's been a wonderful experience and really rewarding.
Well, I always say when people say, tell me about Brian, what he's doing there, I said, he had the true baptism of fire. And we put a little wind with the fire.
Absolutely.
But you had what's called the baptism of fire, because since you've been in this position, has there been a normal year?
No, it feels like we've been in operations the entire time.
Absolutely.
So we've had at least 11 major disaster declarations from the president. In 2020 alone, we had 10% of all our presidential major disaster declarations since 1961.
Wow.
And right now we're working on potentially two others with the two very historic and record-breaking tornado outbreaks that occurred on 17 March and 25th of March.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
It's well, I mean, just looking forward to this year, and last year, not only did we have all this other stuff happening, but we had a little guy kind of sneak in to give us a little kick called COVID.
Yes. And
so that had to be a unique challenge.
It was. For about 3 to 4 months of our existence, we were embedded in 3 different locations working with the Alabama Department of Public Health. So we were in 2 separate floors at the RSA towers in Montgomery, embedded into their operations in both a Unified Command and Alabama Unified Command, and then the Alabama Department of Public Health Incident Command is which we have right now. So we have the Guard, AMA, and the RSA tower, and also at their new location for emergency preparedness in Prattville.
Right. And your main office is in Clanton.
That's true.
That's the headquarters for the entire state. Strategically located, I would suspect.
It is.
You're probably dead center in the state, almost.
It is. It's a little problematic for workforce.
Yes, it is,
since it's away from the urban areas, but it is centrally located to handle, you know, predominantly the hazards to the north, central, and then the coastal region of Alabama.
So, normally, when a disaster happens, you're called into service. Your organization oversees how many different entities at that point?
Well, it's really not overseas, but on behalf of Governor Ivey, in accordance with our emergency operations plans, we direct the emergency activities, emergency response activities of all emergency management organizations. So it's the state agencies, all our state agencies, our partners, and then we work with the counties and their EMAs, through their EMAs, to work with the subdivisions of government to kind of bring everyone together to make sure we're rowing the same direction in the same boat.
And each county has an EMA director, is that not?
That is a true statement, but each county is different in how they structure their EMA, that's for sure.
Okay, so that's figured out by the county commission each?
Yes.
Or is that an appointed position then in each county?
It depends. For the most part, it is appointed by and selected by the county commission.
So basically then, and then even in the larger, let's take Montgomery County, for example. There's a county EMA person, and then there's the city EMA person also? Did they do that, or are they one and the same?
Sir, most cities do not have an EMA person.
Okay.
So there are some cities that also act as a county EMA director. And there's probably one handful full of those. And one would be Huntsville, Morgan, Jefferson, Birmingham, Montgomery, Dothan, Houston, Gadsden, Etowah are some of the examples where you have a combined city-county EMA director that is partly funded by both enterprises.
And in most cases, let's call it a normal year, you would be probably concerned about, in this area of the country, tornadoes and hurricanes. Those are the two primary things.
And floods.
Floods,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the hidden thing out there.
Yes.
I mean, they happen like that, and they're gone like that.
I think that's one of the problems with tornadoes is that it's hurricanes you can see, they plot
Yes.
the path, but until a tornado forms and actually touches the ground, you don't have a tornado. And usually when you have a forecast, you have the ingredients or the environment is conducive for a tornado to form or an outbreak to occur. But until it actually occurs, you don't know where it is. That's the problem.
That's so how can our viewers, if they want to get more information about your organization, can they go online to find out more things?
They can. You can go to ema.alabama.gov online. You can also follow Alabama EMA or B. Hastings EMA on Twitter to get some information, a lot of public safety information. And then if people really want to connect with good emergency management information, contact your local county EMA. They're really, connecting with Uncle Sam or state or assistance. Their first step is the local EMA.
Yep, and that's the most important thing.
It's the most important thing to us also.
Well, thank you for hanging up one hat and putting on another hat and staying in the state of Alabama. I've been following you. You're doing an outstanding job, young man.
Thanks, Jack.
Great.
I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back right after this.